The land of unlimited freedom and vastness. This is how the kings of Ovambo once described their country. And they named one of the largest and most impressive plains, Etosha, meaning big place of the dry white waters. Animal herds wander for hours in this glowing landscape in search of something that is as valuable as gold in this region: water. And some cooling shade too. They are followed by predators and driven by hunger. The waterholes. What a blessing for those able to reach them. But what a curse for those who are not fast enough to escape their dangers. All those who live in the steppe congregate here, constantly wary of the lurking dangers. This is the only waterhole for miles. Otherwise there is nothing but salt and sand. And so the animals drink and rest here for as long as possible. But what was that sound? The sound of an impala's warning cry. The animals try to escape as quickly as possible. It was only elephants, thank goodness. So this time it was just a false alarm. It is a huge herd of elephants. But they too only want to drink. And bathe. elephant is the largest and heaviest surviving land mammal on Earth. It is with great difficulty that these giants find up to 400 kilos of food. And it can be a threat to others that they can suck up to 200 litres of water out of the waterhole in 5 minutes. There is strong rivalry here, but there are no serious fights. It is quite a miracle that it remains so peaceful at this oasis, day after day. The heat and the vastness is practically visible on these lions. Their heavy gait tells the story of energy-consuming hunts and days of hunger. They seldom live alone, as to hunt alone would be quite a hopeless task. But what to do when one of the largest animals on the planet suddenly crosses your path? Unrest spreads. Should they seize this opportunity? Attack as a pack? The elephant is alone and old. But still too dangerous. And too tough. And so they move on. Unsuccessful and with no other prospect of catching any prey. To journey through this land is to travel on a safari through the animal kingdom. For those who love adventure, traveling through Namibia is a must, because this small area of our planet is packed with an incredible amount of natural wonders.
while I'm traveling through time and space. I learn to trust. I begin to dream. And in the wisdom of my soul, I remember which way to go.
The Caprivi Strip. This area gives an entirely different impression of Namibia. This green oasis that is crossed by large rivers such as the Okavango, the Kwando and the Zambezi is the habitat of the Mafwi people. Here there is water as far as the eye can reach, as well as sunrises that are so beautiful as in the most romantic stories of Africa. This is the kingdom of the waterbirds and hippos. The Popper Falls of the Okavango are caused by a massive rock barrier that blocks off the entire river, making it impassable. A large marshland extends from here, which is home to an incredible biodiversity, making it very difficult to access the area where the Mafwi live. Led by the oldest and most experienced females, the elephants roam through the high grass, safe in their herds. When the young are born in the spring, the empathy and the ability to care for the common good of the herd is practically tangible. Vervet monkeys live here in the cool grass of the savannah, south of the Sahara too. A recently overturned old baobab is a good food source. Normally they would eat fruit and leaves, but today's menu offers worms and other insects that were feeding off the tree. A very welcome protein-rich alternative. The Mafwi people have always lived off fishing. They are among the first natives of Namibia and are one of the 5 Caprivian tribes that live on the Caprivi Strip. Like so many African nations, the Mafwi people have unique knowledge about animals and plant life. They have been able to preserve many traditions to this day, passing them on to the next generations. Many traditional healing methods and the preparation of traditional recipes are still practiced today. Even though modern life has found its way here too, there are still some traditional villages to be found on the Caprivi Strip. A part of their craftsmanship involves making jewellery and perfume. Even if it's not all too obvious at first glance, the local game of kanamundame does bear quite a resemblance to our Western game of chess. Handmade baskets, mats and clothing could carry the organic seal if it were of any importance to these manufacturers. They are definitely natural. As is the mahango mush, made of millet and the fruit of the baobab tree, which is probably a little less tasty to the unaccustomed palate.
My name is Leonardo.
My name is Roman.
My name is Colin.
My name is Ben.
My name is Kevin. When I become big, I want to come and help people just like we've been helped here.
Around 40 children between the ages of 1 and 16 years of age live in the orphanage Ngatuve Vatere. Translated from Herero, this means, we want to help.
It's something that's on my heart. I want to do. I want to study to be a social worker. But for now, I'll be working with the kids.
We have 38 children there, and I like to stay with children. I like to stay and work with orphans and vulnerable children to help them out, to be a better person in his life in the future.
I'm studying for a teacher, Montessori teacher. But if I'm here, I'm also volunteering. I'm helping where I can.
Silently, I hear the waves as they come and they go.
Swakopmund is a quiet little town on the Atlantic coast. And there is plenty of Atlantic coast in Namibia. 1,572 kilometers to be precise. Rough and rugged, waves crashing.
The space where time isn't real.
The locals like to call their town the southernmost North Sea resort. The palm trees and the constant blowing of sand from the nearby Namib Desert, though, are a reminder that this is Namibia after all. The sea has always held a great lure for people. Behind soft beaches and rippling waves, a whole new world opens up.
the great white pelican. Now, they do get their fish from me, but in nature, they chase their fish in a group to the shallow parts of the water and scoop the fish up with their beaks so the eyes don't get damaged from the salt water. They can see much longer and then they can live much longer because they can eat. Yeah. Pardon, Bobby. Here we go. And one more because then Bobby had enough fish today. There we go. Say thank you.
The townships are the slums of Africa, but here there is always hope for a better life near the cities.
In our language, penduka means to awaken, and that is why we use this word.
The idea of penduka when it was established is to empower women in Namibia in order to bring food for themselves on the table.
Penduka encourages women to use their skills, what they are best at, and what they were trained in. For example, manufacturing the typical Namibian products that the countless tourists like to take back home as souvenirs.
In my workshop, I teach kids after they come from school and the unemployed people. You see, most of my artworks is animals. Nature inspires me to create. This is the frame, and I'm going to put beads now. They give me a job. That is quite good. Because usually if you get money for free, you don't use it wisely. But if you work for your money, obviously you know that money doesn't come easy. And you have to save and invest and use it wisely. Right. The shape of the legs. Now we are done. It's only for the guys, if they take it, they wrap a paper here, which is having, I heard it's a folk story from Germany. It's a popular one.
ein bisschen Action. Eine Glück, wir haben nicht geschieden.
The sensation that this sandy beach might never end is not that far-fetched considering the vastness of the sand dunes. Actually, it is the Namib Desert that reaches all the way down to the Atlantic Ocean.
Was wohnt in einer Dünenwüste? What can we see?
What do you think lives in the desert and dunes?
Microelephant.
Micro-elephants. Perfect. Microdrops. Fog. Micro-elephants.
Wir haben Eidechse, Geckos, beide sind
We have lizards, geckos, and both of them live here. Both are endemic. What else? Spiders. Every 3 meters on a dune. Every 3 meters there's a spider. They get this big as your hand. It's called white lady, dancing white lady, endemic. It is poisonous, but not deadly.
Aber nicht tödlich. Here comes. Quickly, just wanted. Ooh, yes, drama.
Ooh, now the drama. Just a photograph of her eyes. She's got little claws, so that's how she can stay here firmly.
Ich weiß nicht, das kann sein, die ist nicht hier. Man muss aufpassen, dass die... Look, die Kopf.
See, there's the head. The head. As you can see, there is a tunnel here.
Endemisch, Leute.
This animal is endemic. You won't find this little guy anywhere else in the world. It's the palmetto gecko. Take a look at him. And have a look at his duck feet. It's the only gecko with webbed feet. And you know why? In Switzerland, you have snowshoes, and in Namibia, we have sand shoes. They run on the sand.
The Orongo region, Farmland and fascinating landscape all rolled into one.
Wir leben frei. Du hast nicht die
We live a free life here. There is no stress. It's not hectic, and you can see the horizon in the distance. Our star-studded skies at night are unbelievable. It's peaceful here. There's nothing but nature. We live with nature, in nature. We call this the Torchbearer's Boulder, the Torchbearer's Stone. The reason is that when you look up here, you can see the ladies dancing in a circle. Way back when, they probably took elephant grass or napier grass and bundled it. Then they will have set it alight and danced. That would have given a beautiful lighting effect.
About 20,000 years ago, the San people came to Namibia and left messages that we still have not understood. Not a lot has changed since that time in regards to their lifestyle and traditions. To this day, they live as hunter-gatherers.
Our hunting tools, such as this quiver here, all come from nature. These are hollowed-out branches of the quiver tree, and these spears are dipped in a poison from a root. The tips of the spears are the quills of porcupines. There are not many of us left, but we live a quiet life. Here in Omandumba, we have the chance to show guests a little of our way of life.
We make the jewellery for ourselves. Nice, isn't it?
For thousands of years, the San people have been proving how to live with and from nature without destroying any part of it. They have preserved their traditions and live a reclusive life deep in the steppes of the Kalahari, one of the largest sand-covered surfaces on the face of the earth. To this day, the San people still hunt with traditional spears and bows and arrows. They know which plants to eat to keep hydrated, and they make use of over 80 different edible plants, nuts and fruits for nutrition. At the end of the day, the San people gather around a warming campfire and talk enthusiastically about the magical colours of their surroundings and their wind-sculpted dunes, which are the largest in the world. Sossusvlei, a World Heritage Site, is a constantly changing system that developed over millions of years. Every morning when the sun comes up over the horizon, nature offers up a truly breathtaking spectacle. Of course, everyone wants to climb up on top of there. It's quite a trek to get up the 380 meters, having to take every step twice in the sand to move forward. Deadvlei, a white clay area embedded in sand and dryness. Once lined with camel thorn trees, this region was a green oasis full of life around 1,000 years ago. Now it has been preserved for all eternity until it gets completely covered by the sand. Only the oryx antelope has acclimatized to this dryness. It is an elegant and graceful animal that has a likeness with the dunes. The further south you travel, the more barren and stony the landscape becomes. The plateau rises until it falls into the second largest canyon on the planet. The Fish River Canyon originated millions of years ago and is incredibly deep. Through it flows the longest river in Namibia, cutting a massive gorge into the plateau. This is a place that continues to reveal our Earth's mysteries.
I came along here 25 years ago, and while I was working on my tractor, my son was playing here. He was 10 years old. He called me and he showed me a piece of sediment. When I opened it, I found a piece of fossil inside. These are the Mesosaurus from 270 million years ago. So this is the oldest reptile fossil in South Africa. That means Nkosi Sikeleli Africa. God bless Africa.
The setting sun, the glowing sky, the sensation of endlessness and the unique colours of this landscape make Namibia truly unforgettable. A region of a natural beauty unlike anywhere else on the African continent.